Hello, my name is Ben Maltzby. I'm an implementation consultant at MBA Health Group, and today I will be covering how to utilize SSMT and CMT with the Allscripts Enterprise EHR application. During this presentation, we will identify the common uses of SSMT and CMT. We will cover how to effectively utilize SSMT to extract and load data, how to effectively utilize CMT to move and delete items, and finally, how to use CMT to check database content. Starter Set Migration Tool, or SSMT, is delivered with every enterprise installation. Along with Microsoft Excel, it allows the user to rapidly extract data or configuration information from one system, modify it, and upload the data to the same or another system. SSMT can be very helpful in reducing errors as compared to manual building. Some of the common uses of SSMT are to move data from one database to another, load new data from a spreadsheet to a database, extract data, edit it, and return it to the system, extract data for analysis, copy favorites, and build tasks. The data used with SSMT is organized into content categories. The categories are sets of data within each module. If the category selected does not contain all the data needed for analysis, one can use multiple categories in an Excel format to perform an analysis. Note that the data from these merged categories cannot be loaded directly into SSMT. It must be returned to its original format prior to loading. Below, we can see some examples of the content categories. Most uses of SSMT will follow this basic workflow. You will first want to ensure that the database has been backed up. You will then log into SSMT on the source server to extract data from the source database. You can extract a single content category or multiple categories as a package. If performing a single content category extraction, copy and paste the data into a properly formatted Excel spreadsheet and modify if necessary. If you are extracting a package, you will need to open and edit the file in a text editor and save before loading. Next, you will load the data into the desired database using SSMT. Finally, you will need to verify that the changes have been made and that the system behaves as expected. This can be done using another SSMT extraction or from within the enterprise application itself. Here we see the login screen of SSMT. In order to log in, we will need to enter the clinical and framework database server, name, user, and password. Note that changes to the clinical server, user, and password will auto-populate the framework user and password. The first thing we need to do once logged in is check the header information. We can confirm that the clinical and framework server and databases are the desired server and databases. We can also confirm that we are using the appropriate version of SSMT. Below, you will see the content category dropdown, checkboxes, and the data transfer options. Once you have confirmed your header information, select the appropriate content category from the drop-down menu. In this example, we are using favorites, orderable items, and imaging. Some content categories will allow you to further narrow the data you are working with. In this example, favorites, orderable items, and imaging can further be narrowed by user and specialty. Once you have selected the appropriate content category and made any filtering selections, you are ready to perform an extraction. To show the headers in the extracted data, select the checkbox on the top right. This is recommended to help analyze the data once in Excel. Finally, select Extract Data on the bottom. The extracted data will appear as seen here. Depending on the volume of data, this may take a few minutes. The headers for the content category can be viewed below the data. These can be checked to ensure that you have the necessary data before pasting it into Excel. To move the data into Excel, simply cut and paste from SSMT into your properly formatted spreadsheet. Make sure to save a copy of the data before making changes so that you can easily return it to its original state. It is also a good idea to save the changes made so that you can quickly reference what you have done. Once you have made your changes and saved the data in Excel, copy and paste the data from Excel into SSMT. Finally, select Load Data. Sometimes you will receive an error message if the tool encounters a problem with the data. These error messages are often embedded in the return text and are usually easily understood, as in the example here. We entered text rather than a number. If necessary, you can reference the SSMT manual for a list of error messages. Sometimes SSMT makes unexpected changes to the system. These are often due to the tool's stored procedures. Therefore, always back up the system and keep a copy of the extraction prior to making any changes. And again, save a copy of the changes that you have made as well. A good rule of thumb is to load less than 200 lines of data at once. Try loading a few items initially when checking errors to ensure that everything is working smoothly. Content Management Tool enables you to copy large amounts of complex data from one system to another and apply and manage clinical content updates. You can use CMT to copy from a source system to a target system, such as a test environment to a live environment. Some of the common uses of CMT allow you to copy data from one database to another. However, you cannot modify that data during the copy process. CMT can also be used to delete data from the target database. However, any data that has been used for a patient is only inactivated and cannot be deleted. CMT can be used to gather information about the contents of the source or target database and any activity on the server. The CMT login screen requires the same information as SSMT. However, here we can reference the version that we are using at the bottom of the login screen rather than having to wait to log in. The user can also view recent CMT change history by clicking the More button above the version. Once logged in, as with SSMT, we can confirm that our server and database information is correct and select from a drop-down of content categories. Here we see a complete list of the items that you can move using CMT. Once you have selected the appropriate content category, we are given two columns of data. The left column displays a list of clinical desktop views that are available in the database on the source server. The right column displays a list of clinical desktop views that already exist in the database on the target server. To move an item from the source to the target, simply check it on the left column and select Go. If you select the checkbox beside Go that says check here to overwrite any clinical desktops that have identical names, the system will overwrite any items with the same name on the target database. If you do not select this box, it will move the checked item and keep any items on the target database with the same name, therefore leaving you with multiples. Here are the instructions for performing the move that we just discussed. CMT can also be used to remove items from the database. Data that has been used in any patient record cannot be deleted. For example, a view, template, or form can be inactivated but will remain in the database. To delete or inactivate an item, click the checkbox next to the desired item in the right column and click Go. If you select the checkboxes in both columns for an item that has an identical name in the source and target databases, the item on the target database is replaced with the item from the source database when you select Go. CMT can also be used to run reports or check the content of a database. Note form components is used to identify missing forms, inactive graphics and hotspots, detail and symptom detail forms, or note input templates. Display new note catalog is used for viewing new note input templates or note forms. Display recent activity shows us a table summarizing the activity on the server from a particular date. Each of these reports can be performed using these three simple steps. Select the content category, select the checkbox for the item about which you wish to inquire, and select Go. It is recommended to select one checkbox at a time, as reports can take a long time to run. This screenshot shows us the options available for checking note form components. It is used to identify missing or inactive items. You can see we've selected the note form components content category. We have the three items about which we can inquire. We can select the source or the target database. And finally, we'll select Go at the bottom. This screenshot shows the options for checking the new note catalog. This is used to show a report of what items were on the source or target server prior to a transfer. Here you can see we've selected Display New Note Catalog from the Content category, and below we have the checkboxes for the items about which we wish to inquire. In this case, Go is above our checkboxes. The Display Recent Activity content category has been selected in this screenshot. It will allow us to see the CMT history since a certain date. So below you can see, rather than checkboxes, you have the option to enter your start date, again your databases to inquire, and Go at the bottom. As with SSMT, CMT will return errors if there is a problem with the data. These errors are returned in the form of codes rather than the text that can be referenced in the CMT manual. Below, we can see a few examples of the error codes and their cause. To recap, in this presentation, we identified the common uses of SSMT and CMT, how to effectively utilize SSMT to extract and load data, how to effectively utilize CMT to move and delete items, and how to use CMT to check database content. Here's a snapshot of other consulting services MBA Health Group can provide. We offer a wide range of EHR services that can help increase your organization's productivity and efficiency. Please visit our new website at www.mbahealthgroup.com to see a comprehensive overview of all the services we offer. This slide concludes our webinar for today. Thank you for your time, and I hope you've learned all of the key points you need to utilize SSMT and CMT. Please feel free to contact us if you have any questions or would like more information.